What we have here is the Southern Breeze, made by Aircool. Looks like a Toastmaster canopy, but those are all Aircool. Jufeng, Shichen, Aircool, all the same thing. So this is one of those bottom of the barrel, cheap 3-speed industrials. Alright, 36-inch. Basically the blades are Caribbean Breeze blades, and they have rolled edges, so they're safer. Yes, so cool. It's non-reversible, but then again, is anyone really surprised by that? Because I'm not. Notice the cutouts for the provision for a swag kit. Of course, I need to get a better screw for the canopy because, oh, it doesn't want to stay up. Stupid piece of shit, but whatever. New screw, new screw, new screw. Yeah, this is one of those, like I said, no frills, bottom of the barrel, cheap industrial fans. Every company made them. Every company had that one cheap option, 3-speed, 36-inch industrial, just for Florida, essentially. For the climate of hell. Alright, so, yes, it does have a silly light, because why not? Alright, so basically, alright, hell has a very humid climate, alright, and essentially, yeah, very humid, and yeah, so industrials are all the rage in Florida. All the rage. So, you know, some consumers wanted cheaper options, just a fan that cooled things off with a light kit, you know, just 3 speeds and cheap. Because back in the 80s and the 70s, in this case the 80s, alright, having a fan with a choke control, I guess, was seen as a luxury option. Like, oh, wall control, yay, cool, 5 speeds, yay, 4 speeds, yay, 3-speed pull chain, basic. Very basic, very cheap, very, 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 very cheap. Like 20, 30 bucks cheap. Of course, it's the 80s, but still cheap. Alright, so, yeah, this is the Aircool variant, which uses a more flat Aircool motor, which is seen in the Tropical Breezes, at least the Aircool made ones. Alright, it's not vented, but, you know, whatever. It's still very, very cool. So, anyway, let's see what it does. So the low speed is actually pretty nice. Pretty average. Not super fast. Unlike my UFO TAT 3-speed. Alright, that one has a bit more speed to it, but then again, that thing is also a beast, so yeah. So yeah, the low speed is nice and pretty decent. Alright. But yeah, back to these, you know, bare bones fans. Alright, like I said, humid climate such as Florida needed, you know, something to move a ton of air, but was also cheap. So these 3-speed options were the answer here, because 3-speed was no frills. Oh, you have to pull the chain? Cool, whatever. Alright, so yeah, these things were dirt cheap. Evergo had one. Air-Cool had a few. View Fan, I'm pretty sure had something. I mean, Tat had a few. I mean, there were a ton of different ones. SMC. Yeah, SMC had the Laguna Industrial, so I guess that was their variant. But here's the thing. These things were so cheap, they were seen as disposable. You know? So what that meant was, oh, get tired of them, just throw them away. And that meant that they become pretty scarce as time progressed. This is starting to happen with the Hampton Bay SMC Industrials, the 56-inch models. Alright? They were everywhere at the shore. Everywhere. And then all of a sudden, over time, they just disappeared. They're all gone now. Alright? There are none of those left. Because they were so cheap, they were seen as disposable. And, well, now they're all disappearing. Same as going with the PowerMax King of Fans Hampton Bay Industrials. Alright? They're starting to disappear because of how cheap they are. Because no one cares. They didn't put any money into them, so no one cares to keep them. So, you know how that goes. So yeah, so let me now put it to medium. It has subtle harmonics. Very subtle, not an overly loud fan, which I enjoy. So the medium speed is actually not terrible. A slight little bit of wobble, I'm sure it's just slightly out of true. And this is also a bit of backlog for me. I got this fan 2 years ago. But somebody forgot to give me one of the blades. So 2 years later, I finally got that blade. And here we are. But yeah, this is the proverbial Florida fan. Like I said, dirt cheap. But because they're dirt cheap, they're scarce because people just saw them as disposable turd balls. I love these 3-speed industrials. I really do, because like they're so cool. Because most industrials are, you know, wall control or whatever, not 3-speed, so it's somewhat unique. So, yep. Another example of, you know, cheap bare bones models was Emerson, or rather Sears. All right, Sears had the the blender, right? 3-speed, not 3-speed, single speed, 3-speed, 3-blade switch housing, single speed, right? And then there was the Weatherite or China cold storage variant, which was again single speed. It was a spinner with Emerson parts. Yeah, very, very, very odd. Alright, then you had the Lasco variant, or Sanyo, whatever you want to call it, 36-inch, 3-speed, single speed, wood blades, very, very, very weird, very, very rare, very, very ugly, and I want one. But these things, they're scarce, but like I said, very, very awesome. So, let's get a full tilt. The harmonics are nice. They're not overly moany. They're very subtle. But you still hear them. The bearings are good. Only a slight shimmy. Yeah, really cool fan. Yeah, this one was labeled Southern Breeze. Now, they've done a lot of relabeling. A whole lot. For Union, Lots of union, evidently air cool. Yeah, they're fanography, as I'll call it, like a discography, except, you know, for fan models. It was interesting. Southern Breeze, I think, was a label out of Florida. So you always seem to find these in the South. So, just going to assume that's what went on here. Yeah, the rolled edge blade allowed for these fans to skirt around the 10-foot minimum, you know, trailing edge of blade height. Alright, because the trailing edge, or rather the rolled leading edge, made them safer so they wouldn't be sharp, they wouldn't chop your fingers off or do anything silly like that. So, that's how they were able to put these on 8-foot ceilings or whatever and just get away with them that way. Okay, let's now yeah, the fan came with the light, which I'm thinking may have been original, probably was original. So, very interesting. Just a bare bones light bulb. However, what that meant was the switch cap was retained. Because oftentimes when you put lights on these things, the switch cap goes bye-bye. So, yeah. But yeah, I do love Hell fans. They're always so unique. And there you have it. A Southern Breeze air-cool 3-speed industrial.